The last lighthouse keeper. In a remote coastal village, where the sea met the sky in a perpetual embrace, stood a solitary lighthouse. It was an old structure, built a century ago from weathered stone. Its once bright paint now faded and chipped. The lighthouse, perched on a rugged cliff, had guided countless ships safely through treacherous waters. But as the years passed, it became a relic of a bygone era. Its beacon no longer needed due to modern navigation systems. The village had long since moved on, its inhabitants preferring the conveniences of the city. Only one person remained, a man named Thomas, who was the last lighthouse keeper. Thomas was a grizzled man in his 60s with a thick beard and a weather-beaten face that told stories of decades spent battling the elements. His life had been intertwined with the lighthouse, and though the world around him had changed, he remained steadfast in his duties. Thomas's days were filled with routine. He tended to the lighthouse, ensuring that the light shone brightly every night, even though no ships needed its guidance. He took solace in the simplicity of his work, finding peace in the steady rhythm of his tasks and the solitude of his existence. One evening, as Thomas prepared for another night, a storm began to brew on the horizon. The wind howled and the waves crashed against the rocks below with increasing ferocity. Thomas had weathered many storms in his time, but this one felt different. There was a sense of urgency in the air, a foreboding that made the hair on the back of his neck stand on end. As he climbed the spiral staircase to the top of the lighthouse, the storm's fury intensified. The old structure groaned under the strain of the wind, and the lantern room at the top rattled as if it might be torn from its moorings. Thomas's hands were steady as he adjusted the light, ensuring that it would cut through the storm's darkness. He gazed out at the tumultuous sea, his eyes straining to see through the driving rain. The waves were monstrous, towering like dark giants as they roared and crashed. For a moment, Thomas wondered if this storm would be the one to end it all. If the lighthouse would be its last stand against nature's wrath. As the storm raged, Thomas noticed something unusual through the rain-streaked glass. A dim light flickering in the distance. It was faint, barely visible through the storm, but it was definitely there. The sight was both intriguing and alarming. No ships should be out in this weather, and the light seemed to be moving erratically. Driven by a mix of curiosity and concern, Thomas decided to investigate. He grabbed his weathered oilskin coat and lantern and made his way down the stairs, bracing himself against the howling wind. The lighthouse's exterior was battered by the storm, but Thomas's resolve was unwavering. He climbed down the rocky path leading to the shore, his lantern casting a weak glow through the darkness. The light he had seen was now more distinct, bobbing and weaving like a beacon of hope amidst the chaos. As Thomas reached the base of the cliff, he saw a small boat struggling against the monstrous waves. It was a battered vessel, its sails tattered and its hull nearly submerged. The dim light was coming from a lantern on the boat, its bearer desperately trying to signal for help. Thomas's heart raced. The boat was in grave danger and he knew he had to act quickly. He waded into the icy water, battling against the powerful waves that threatened to pull him under. With every step, he fought against the pull of the ocean, his lantern flickering wildly in the storm. He reached the boat just as it was about to be engulfed by a towering wave. The boat's lone occupant, a young woman, was clinging to the side, her face pale with fear. Thomas's strong hands grasped the boat's edge, pulling it towards the shore with all his might. The storm seemed to relent for a moment, as if recognizing the gravity of the situation. After what felt like an eternity, Thomas managed to pull the boat onto the shore. He helped the woman out of the boat, her clothes soaked and her teeth chattering from the cold. She looked at him with wide, grateful eyes. "Thank you," she managed to gasp through the storm's roar. "I thought I was lost." Thomas nodded, his face grim. "You would have been if I hadn't seen your light." The woman, who introduced herself as Eliza, explained that she had been on a solo voyage trying to reach the village for a special reason. She was a historian, researching the old lighthouse and its history. Her journey had taken a perilous turn when the storm struck, and she had barely managed to keep her boat afloat. Thomas led Eliza to the warmth and safety of the lighthouse. He stoked the fire in the small kitchen, making tea to help her warm up. As they sat by the fire, Eliza shared more about her quest. She spoke of a long-forgotten tale associated with the lighthouse, a legend that had been passed down through generations. According to the legend, the lighthouse was built on a site of great significance, a place where the boundary between the human world and the spirit realm was thin. It was said that on rare occasions, during the fiercest storms, the lighthouse could bridge that gap and reveal hidden truths or grant wishes to those in dire need. Eliza's research had uncovered hints of a hidden chamber beneath the lighthouse, a place that supposedly held an ancient artifact linked to this legend. She had been trying to find it, believing it could shed light on the mysteries surrounding the lighthouse and its true purpose. As the storm raged on outside, Thomas and Eliza decided to explore the lighthouse's depths together. They descended into the basement, which was a maze of old storage rooms and forgotten relics. With a sense of anticipation, they searched for any signs of the hidden chamber mentioned in the legend. After hours of searching, they finally found a concealed door behind a stack of old crates. It was a heavy, iron-bound door with intricate carvings that matched the symbols described in Eliza's research. With some effort, they managed to open it, revealing a narrow staircase leading down into darkness. They descended the stairs cautiously, their lanterns casting eerie shadows on the walls. At the bottom, they discovered a small, dimly lit chamber. In the center of the room stood a pedestal, and on it rested an ancient, ornate box. The box was adorned with symbols and designs that seemed to pulse with a faint, otherworldly light. Eliza approached the box with reverence, her hands trembling as she opened it. Inside was a small crystalline object, an orb that shimmered with a soft, ethereal glow. As Eliza held the orb, a wave of energy seemed to emanate from it, filling the chamber with a warm, golden light. Thomas watched in awe as the chamber seemed to come alive with the orb's power. The walls of the chamber were covered in shifting patterns and images, telling stories of the lighthouse's past and the legends that surrounded it. The orb seemed to be a key to unlocking the lighthouse's true history, revealing its connection to the spirit realm and its role as a guardian of hidden knowledge. As the orb's light enveloped them, Thomas and Eliza felt a profound sense of connection to the lighthouse and its legacy. The storm outside began to subside, and the sky cleared, revealing a serene, starlit night. In the days that followed, Eliza completed her research and documented the lighthouse's history and the legend of the orb. The village, once forgotten, was now a place of renewed interest. with visitors coming to learn about the lighthouse and its hidden truths. Thomas, having fulfilled his duty as the last lighthouse keeper, felt a deep sense of accomplishment. He had witnessed the lighthouse's true purpose and had helped uncover a piece of history that would be remembered for generations to come. As he watched the sun rise over the tranquil sea, he knew that his time at the lighthouse had come full circle, and he could finally embrace the peace he had sought for so long. And so, the lighthouse stood, its beacon shining once more, a symbol of hope and discovery, guiding not just ships, but the hearts and minds of those who sought to uncover the mysteries of the past. I hope you enjoyed the story. If you have any more requests or need any adjustments, just let me know.